Is black a color? Apparently, the answer depends on who you ask. If you're a physicist, you'll probably give me one answer. If you're an artist, you'll probably give me another. And if you're someone who spends entirely too much time thinking about clothes like myself, well, you've probably already started typing your opinion down in the comments. Personally, I think black is less a color than a recurring character in my wardrobe. Every time I think I've moved away from it, it quietly finds its way back. Which brings us to today's video. Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Saul, and if you've been here before, welcome back. As you know by now, one of my hobbies is making videos about clothes. I'm currently trying to grow this tiny corner of the internet to a whopping 100 subscribers by the end of 2026. So if you've been enjoying these conversations, I'd really appreciate it if you considered subscribing. It would genuinely help a lot more than you can probably imagine. Today we'll be talking about 3 pieces, a pair of shoes, a pair of shorts, and an accessory. You might notice that there's no shirt today. That's because I recently dedicated an entire video to the black Comoli shirt that I picked up. If you're enjoying today's conversation, I have a feeling that you'll enjoy that one as well. I'll try to remember to leave it linked in the description. So let's start as usual from the ground up. These are the banana shoes from James Coward. Actually, it's my second piece from the brand, although it's my first pair of footwear from them. The design was originally created by Daita Kimura of the Old Curiosity Shop and produced by Sanders. They're made from black grained calf leather, sit on a wonderfully chunky crepe sole, and have this wonderfully asymmetrical lace-to-toe construction. That's initially what caught my eye. When you look a little closer, suddenly you notice that something feels different. The lacing isn't exactly where you expect it to be. The proportions shift slightly. It's one of those garments, or in this case, footwear that rewards curiosity, and I love pieces like that. Funny enough, getting my hands on them turned out to be much harder than deciding that I wanted them. James Coward had actually sold out of my size. I looked around the US without much luck. Eventually, I reached out to ask whether they might have a stockist who had them available. They pointed me towards Rising Star Laundry. Unfortunately, for those of us who do not live in San Francisco, it doesn't currently have an online shop. Fortunately, Brody was kind enough to help me over email and ship them to me, so shout out to him. One thing I've noticed recently is that I seem to be buying more and more pieces that whisper rather than shout. At first glance, these are simply a pair of black shoes. You could wear them every day without anyone thinking about them twice. But the longer someone looks, the more I feel like they reveal. Maybe that's why I wanted them in black, because the quieter the color, the louder the details can become. That actually made me think about something. What is this pair asking of me? That's become a question I find myself returning to over and over again. I like symmetry, I like balance, I like things lining up exactly where I expect them to. These don't, and I think that's precisely why I like them. They're reminding me that beauty doesn't always come from perfect balance. Sometimes it's the slight asymmetry that gives something character. Maybe clothes are trying to teach me to be a little more comfortable with that too. Next up, we have this pair of shorts. These are from Auralee, my second piece as well from the brand. Eventually I'll get around, hopefully, to talking about the first piece. At the rate I'm going though, probably sometime before retirement. I wasn't actually looking for another pair of shorts, not exactly anyway. Earlier this year I realized, as I mentioned in a prior video, something slightly embarrassing. Until then, I didn't really own everyday shorts. That changed with the Kinori pair that I talked about a while back. I'll try to link the videos up and forget if it's the left or right. And then I also picked up a pair of Kartik research shorts. Those two have become summer staples. Well, the Kinori one is the one that I've been wearing on repeat. The Kartik research I'll be wearing in an upcoming trip. And yet, I still found myself reaching for my workout shorts whenever I was taking Teddy out for a quick walk, which got me thinking, why? I think somewhere along the way, I'd subconsciously decided that certain moments didn't deserve quote-unquote real clothes. walking my pup, running to the grocery store. The shorts I wore for those moments weren't chosen, they were simply the closest pair. That didn't really sit right with me, because if I'm being honest with myself, the ordinary moments make up the majority of my life. So why shouldn't they deserve thoughtful clothes too? That's where these Auralee shorts come in. They're made from an incredibly dense wool canvas woven from super 120s wool. On paper, perhaps that doesn't sound particularly exciting. In person, in my opinion, it's remarkable. The fabric has this crisp architectural quality to it, structured, clean, almost sculptural, but without feeling stiff. It's one of those pieces that somehow looks considered while asking almost nothing of you, which increasingly is exactly what I'm looking for. Funny enough, I almost didn't buy them. Then Memorial Day rolled around. Discord does what Discord does. Someone posted that the sale on Canoe Club had started. I checked out almost immediately. One of the unexpected perks of joining these menswear communities has been exactly that. What is this pair asking of me? I think it's asking me to stop reserving good clothes for important days. Not every thoughtful garment needs a special occasion. Sometimes the special occasion is taking Teddy for a walk, or grabbing a coffee, or running some errands. I know that probably sounds a little ridiculous, but I genuinely believe that craftsmanship shouldn't only exist for weddings, dinners, and vacations. The clothes we wear most often probably deserve just as much thought as the ones we save, maybe even more, because they're the ones that we're actually living in. That idea has quietly changed how I build my wardrobe. I don't really ask myself, where can I wear this anymore? Instead, I ask, what part of my life might this quietly improve? Turns out, a surprisingly large part of the answer involves walking a Bernese mountain dog. Finally, let's finish with the smallest piece in today's video, even though in some ways it solved one of the biggest problems in my wardrobe. This is my first piece from Hender Scheme. Now, if you're familiar with the brand, there's a decent chance that you're thinking about their shoes, and for good reason. They're probably best known for their artisanal reinterpretations of classic silhouettes. I've admired them for quite a while. One day, I suspect I'll own a pair. Instead, I bought a bag. Not exactly the most glamorous purchase, but perhaps the most practical. When I take Teddy out, I always carry the same handful of things: poop bags, hand sanitizer, treats, the essentials. For the last year and a half, I've been using a little bag from Wilderdog, and honestly, it's been great. No complaints. The only issue was that it belonged to a different part of my wardrobe. If I were wearing hiking clothes, then it would be perfect. If I were wearing the James Cower shoes we just talked about, or the Auralee shorts, or the Comoli shirt, suddenly that bright little outdoorsy bag felt like it belonged to somebody else. There's absolutely nothing wrong, of course, with that contrast. It just isn't how I prefer to dress. I realized I wasn't looking for a better bag per se, I was looking for a more coherent one. That's exactly where this Hender Scheme bag comes in. It's quieter, the leather immediately ties into the rest of what I'm wearing, and selfishly, it lets me spend some time living with Hender Scheme leather before eventually deciding whether I want to invest in one of their pairs of shoes. I think this piece is asking me to stop thinking of accessories as afterthoughts. For a long time, they were precisely that: the bag, the hat, whatever happened to be nearby. Now I realize that they complete the outfit just as much as the clothes themselves. Not because they draw attention, because they quietly tie everything together. Which brings us back to black. We started today's video by asking whether black is actually a color. I'm still not entirely sure, but I have come to another conclusion. Black has never really been the point. The point is that black gives other things room to speak. Texture, silhouette, construction, asymmetry, fabric. When you remove color as the main event, you start noticing everything else. Maybe that's why I keep coming back to it. Not because it's safe, but because it's generous. It lets craftsmanship do the talking. Looking back at these three pieces, I don't really see three black purchases, I see three different reminders. The James Cower shoes remind me that imperfection can be beautiful. The Auralee shorts remind me that ordinary days deserve thoughtful clothes. And this Hender Scheme bag reminds me that even the smallest parts of a wardrobe contribute to the whole. None of them are particularly loud, none of them are trying very hard, and maybe that's what I appreciate about them. If you've made it this far, thank you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one black garment you'll probably never stop wearing? I'd genuinely love to hear. As always, please don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe. But seriously, thank you for spending a little time with me. Nos vemos.